Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play Sid Meier's Civilization Revolution. And here we are with episode 13, the grand finale. That's right, everyone. It's been a long journey. Actually, as a matter of fact, exactly 1 year ago today when this game started. But here we are at long last with the final episode. And in this one, I'm going to go over all of the different victory types, now that the Great War has finally come to an end. So let's get right back into it with our city of Washington, our mighty capital, the hub from which I have conquered this entire world. Look at it. With the small exception of this little pocket of Alexander the Great's territory in Athens, and he does have a little city up here of Madras. But that aside, all of the land is mine. It's a big world out there, and it belongs to only one person. Well, you know what? That's not completely true. I'd say it belongs to each and every single one of us. Why? Well, not only am I a republic as a government, in which case that theoretically means at least that that all my people have some say in how they're ruled, but also, without all you guys watching, well, this wouldn't amount to anything at all. So, thank you guys for the support. Now, that aside, we're just going to jump right back into this. So, let's just end this final turn, and then we'll start prepping for some victory types next. But first, this just in, sire, a government change. The Greeks have replaced their fundamentalism with a monarchy. Under a monarchy, the palace culture bonus will double. I see, so Alexander wants to try and expand his small territory as much as possible through culture, now that war is no longer an option. And also, great news, we only need build the United Nations wonder and we will win a cultural victory. I got it. And also, Exalted One, our wise men have discovered the secrets of globalization. Very appropriate considering that I've just pretty much conquered the world. Got it? And whoa, what is this? Our civilization is the first to discover globalization. As a result, we received this bonus. 500 extra gold pieces. Interesting. Good to know. Now, that aside, one extra note. That technology does absolutely nothing. Globalization on its own does nothing. It's only useful for canceling out the trade fair of Troy's wonder and for getting you that 500 gold pieces. On its own, it does nothing. But there's only one technology left for us to get right now, the superconductor. So let's research it. And what does it do, actually, now we're looking up there? It's the scientist's favorite technology. It's mainly military, and with it, we can build an SDI defense. What's an SDI defense? Well, I'll go into that in a little later. But first, speak of the devil, our glorious civilization has completed the trade fair of Troy's wonder in the city of New Orleans. Now gold production will be doubled in this city. Okay. Alright. Now, let's get into some victory types as soon as we go to all of our different cities. So I think we're going to start off with a space victory. Hold on a second, as soon as it stops taking me to my cities. Come on, come on. This is the problem of having too many cities. The logistics of it are ridiculous. I have to go to each and every single one of my cities before I can show you what we're going to do here. Alright, there we go. Or rather, each city that doesn't have a building project going on is what it drags you to. Alright. Well, first off, before we get into the space victory, let's take a look at our space station report. So look at this. We've got a giant metal stick, I guess, just kind of floating there in space. Pretty fancy for a stick, though, maybe. Pretty fancy schmancy for a stick, though, I guess. Now, take a look. It is the American Space Station, the SS Wyndham X. That is my username. Don't wear it out. Alright, now, as you can see, we have zero fuel pods, no propulsion modules, no life support modules, and no habitation modules. So, No place for the people on board to live. And the ETA, well, it's not going anywhere. It's got no propulsion. It doesn't weigh anything. And it's going to take exactly 9,999 years for it to reach Alpha Centauri. And upon its arrival, there will be no colonists left alive on it. So, that's a problem. So, let's just fix that right now and build us some spaceship parts. We'll use Abydos for a start. No, it's in the buildings. So, we got the SS Fuel, the SS Propulsion, pardon me, the SS Life Support, and the SS Habitation. So, let's start off with a little fuel. Let's see, what else? Let's see. Okay, here we are. We're gonna get a life support out of here. How about we use Berlin for a little propulsion, and we'll rush that. And King's Landing. Nah, not King's Landing. Something else. Can New York do it? Yes, New York. And New York will build us a habitation. Alright, now before we end the turn, we gotta get all of our forces back into cities. Because, in particular here, outside of Dortmund, where the final battle of Bismarck took place, all these aircraft are just kind of floating out here. So just everyone sit tight, get back inside our cities, and let's end this turn and see what happens. And yes, I'm aware of that. I can build the United Nations wonder. We're gonna get to that. Don't worry. Alright, what is this? We've got a spaceship launching from the city of Berlin. And apparently it's just kind of floating up there. So what's we got? Whoa, look at that. Pretty fancy, huh? We got ourselves a massive spaceship engine. So we've got one propulsion module. But still, no fuel, no life support, no habitation. Oh, by the way, it weighs 5 tons now. But still going to take 9,999 years, and everyone on board is going to be dead. So, let's see if the next spaceship part can fix some of that. Now, there should be flames coming out of those engines, but I think because there's absolutely so much going on in this world, especially because of all my excessive military units, the game can't handle it graphically. So, it looks like we got a nice little big pot of fuel. Just kind of plugs itself right in there. So, now it's going to take... Now it's got one fuel and one propulsion. It has got, let's see, what is that? That is 130,000 propulsion. I am not quite sure what measurement that is. The space station weighs 15 tons, and it's going to take 2 years to get there. So, that's pretty darn quick. Except the problem is we have no colonists, so that doesn't really help us. So, what's Salzburg going to do for us? Salzburg is plugging in something there in the front. And look at that, it lights up. Alrighty, so that was our life support. So now this space station is capable of harboring life. But how can it harbor life when we've got no place to put our colonists? Well, I think that's what our next spaceship part's going to take care of for us. Yeah, I'm looking at my audio track right now. It looks like my microphone is picking up the game audio coming from my TV. I probably should turn that down a little bit. All right. Now look at that. Our colonists have a place to live while they travel in that giant habitation module. So now it'll take 16 years for it to get there, and we'll have 10,715 colonists on board. Now, apparently, that's 715 people overcrowded. So let's take a look at that. So, pretty awkward looking spaceship, huh? Now, here's the thing. We could launch right now, but why do that when we can make it better? So, let's go all out. Get me another fuel. I want a second fuel on there. Nope, not propulsion. I want a third fuel on there. And now let's get some other things. Give me one more life support. I want another habitation module as well. Not Giza. Get me some extra propulsion. Another habitation. More propulsion. And no, not life support. And still give me more propulsion. That, I think, should do it. Yeah, I get it. So we're just going to put all these on, like, factories or something just to kill for time, just to stall for time, so it doesn't keep sending us back to them. We'll put you on a wonder. The Apollo program. I'll get into that in a second. Let's have you work on the internet. Factory. Yeah, just by default kind of set everything to factories. Now King's Landing make a wall. And now we gotta make our units all inactive. Which worked out well, so let's end the turn and now see what happens. Oh, by the way, who's winning? Is that really even a question? Look at how much further along I am than what was the other civs. Only Alexander is left. Domination, technology, I was way ahead of them all. Economic and cultural. No need to even look at that. And, of course, what else would this be without my foreign advisor letting me know that I can win by making the United Nations wonder? We've known that for, what, 3 episodes, maybe 4? I don't know, I've lost track. Oh, by the way, nobody's keeping count of how many times she's shown up to tell me that, so still no internet cookie for anyone. Sorry, guys. Alright. We got some more fuel. Now we got 2 fuel pods. And a second propulsion. So let's take a quick look. 2 fuel pod, 2 propulsion, 1 life support, 1 habitation. And our propulsion has gone up to 260 thou. We weigh 150 tons. Take us 10 years to get to Alpha Centauri, and we can now have 11,487 people alive when we get there. Interestingly enough, we're even more overcrowded than we were before. Now Boston's got something. Now just to save a little time here, guys, I can skip that animation. And looks like we've got another layer for our colonists to live in. Down the center. Light that up. So now we'll have 12,984 colonists alive upon arrival out of potential 20,000, but the time it takes to get to Alpha Centauri has increased by 6 years. So we don't want them waiting that long, so let's see what we can do next. Take a look here. Alright, looks like we're nearing the end of our time. So let's see, I'm just going to let this one actually use up the entirety of its animation. Sorry. And get us a little more fuel. Alright. Now, that fuel sped us up. However, I will go over that in the next part. Stay tuned.